This episode of the Wrong Advice podcast is powered by Harlow, the only woman-owned lighting brand for photographers, videographers, filmmakers, and content creators. Designed for those who push creative boundaries, Harlow lights are compact, powerful, and built to inspire. Harlow creates tools that stand the test of time, crafted for those who see light as an art form. Harlow believes that your light can be bold, powerful, and beautiful, and that it deserves to be seen. Visit Harlow online at www.harlow.com or follow them on Instagram at Harlow Creators. Welcome back to the Wrong Advice podcast. I'm your host, John Picciuto, and I'm very excited to have the one and only Miss Katherine Harrington with us today. Kat, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well. How are you, John?
I'm fantastic. Can you give a quick introduction to the listeners to who you are?
Yeah, of course. Hi, my name is Katherine Harrington, but people call me Kat. I'm an actor and a model, and I've been living in the city for 4 years. So I've been working professionally for the past 4 years. Nice.
Yeah. When did you move in your professional life to New York? Was that the starting point of your acting career, or?
It was because I moved to the city to go to college.
Oh, cool.
And so I was in college for 2 years doing a small conservatory program. And then I got scouted for modeling and started modeling while I was in acting school. And then started my acting career probably a year and a half ago professionally when I got signed and everything. Because you don't want to get signed when you're in school. They have this thing about not being able to act while you're taking class because you haven't finished your training. But commercial modeling is different because it's not like an explicit acting thing. Yeah.
Got it. When you were a kid, were you doing theater, plays, those kind of things, like school productions, that kind of stuff?
So I was homeschooled until I was 14.
Oh, I did not know that. Whoa.
So, no, I was performing for my parents in the basement with my siblings.
Yeah, nice.
I'm the oldest of 4 kids, and I would rope my brother into doing stuff with me. And my parents made me play violin, and I sang in the choir in church and stuff. But my parents never wanted me to do professional acting things because I grew up in Connecticut. Mm-hmm. So if I did any professional work, I probably would have ended up in the city at some point. And my parents didn't want me to be a child actor. Mm. And so then I did school productions and community theater, kind of in middle school into high school, because I went to high school. And I did it at my very small PWI Christian high school with 40 kids in my class. That was a K through 12. And we weren't allowed to kiss in the plays because it was
religious.
It was religious. So they would hug. So in the scene when in Sound of Music, when they get married, they don't kiss. They just ended it more quickly.
Just a friendly high five.
They just put the curtain down and they're yeah, well, next scene, I guess. Because they felt so, my director, I guess, felt uncomfortable. The next director had no issue with people kissing, but for whatever reason, her reign of terror included no kissing.
I'm curious. So being homeschooled, where do you think you got struck by the creative gene? Was it born with it, or was it something that just developed through, being in the same place 4 hours a day, whatever.
Yeah. My parents are actually really culturally sensitive. Mm-hmm. My mom is an immigrant. She's from the Dominican Republic. She was born in the States, but then moved back to the Dominican Republic and then came back when she was 5. And my dad went to school for jazz guitar. Sweet. He went to New England Conservatory undergrad. So I think I grew up with parents who were creative to some degree or culturally aware. Mm-hmm. And so my parents didn't let us watch TV Monday through Friday. And they didn't let us watch Disney Channel, but I was allowed to watch The Naked Gun because that's real cinema.
Sweet,
so,
yeah.
So I was allowed to see that and Indiana Jones and the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies. Those were fine, and my parents were really big on educating me via good media, quote unquote, and thinking critically about stuff like that. And I grew up with Miles Davis in the background and a lot of Buena Vista Social Club and Enrique Iglesias. And so I think I got the creative gene from being exposed to it. I also think since I was 4, my granddad took me to see Beauty and the Beast on Broadway. And I cried. And then I cried at the end of Annie when I saw the movie because I loved Carol Burnett. I think when I was 4, I knew I wanted to be an actor. And I just was lucky I lived so close to Broadway because my parents would take me to see a Broadway show on my birthday every year.
Sweet.
And the Broadway Care is a drive for AIDS that they do at the end of each play. They're hey, during the Thanksgiving into Christmas season, donate money for AIDS on Broadway. And I'd always see the actors break to ask for money. And I would be sitting there he's not evil. He's a regular person. And it always freaked me out. And I thought it was so cool. So I think I was just lucky that my parents were actually as sheltered as I was in some ways. I wasn't because they were so adamant about me having access to great theater and media and movies and TV shows. So yeah, I was actually, now that I think about it, pretty lucky.
That's awesome.
With my parents,
I would think like, having no knowledge of a homeschool type situation, right. You just like look at what you see on the news, and it's like, I would just have naturally assumed that it would be less, conducive to like fostering a creative mindset or like a creative passion. But that's props to your parents for like kind of like instilling that in you. I like that. You picked probably the second or third hardest career like in the world, and obviously you're like very new into your journey in this, professional acting career. When you like look at like the daunting like nuances of becoming a full-time working actor, like how do you like mitigate going through like the ups and downs and the highs and lows of like that career that's full of so much rejection?
Oh yeah. That's a good question. I think, so when I auditioned for musical theater schools, I really thought I was going to do Broadway and do MT. I didn't think I was going to model, and I didn't think I would do any film and TV work. I think my parents really genuinely believed being a stage actor was a more viable career, when it's actually much more difficult to make money in stage stuff if you're not in the union, because they just don't pay really well. The rates are poor versus modeling. You can get paid $2,000 for a day of work, right? That's like your rent. But so I auditioned for all of the top musical theater schools in America. I got called back at all of them except for 2. And then I got rejected during my callback. I didn't get in. So I started my career being told no by a bunch of institutions. And they told me, all I heard was, you're half good. You're not good enough all the way. But it actually, the second I moved to New York, I got signed the second week I was here. I got scouted. And so I think knowing that institutions have rejected me, but I've proven my viability as an artist from a financial standpoint. Like, I don't have another job. The more stressful thing is like having money when you don't know if you've booked a job, if you're on option, if you have a net 90, because waiting 3 months to receive payment for something is right. It should be illegal. It should be illegal, which I think with the fashion.
Net 30 is bullshit.
Net 30 is crazy. If I'm on set and you've already posted the imagery, I should have my check now because you're using my imagery.
Let alone net 90 is like fucking insane.
When I worked at Starbucks, I would get, because I worked at Starbucks during COVID so I could move to the city because my parents didn't help me at all with my apartment. And so I saved like $5,000 working at Starbucks, and I would get paid every week after working however many hours. And I don't understand why me modeling for Amazon or Netflix or any of these brands, I don't understand why these massive companies cannot pay me on time.
They can, they just don't want to.
Exactly. And that should be an abuse of power. It's not a Ken thing,
it's just like a...
Right, exactly. So I think the more of the up and down stuff is the financial attachment to it, because since I don't have another job, I'm not wondering if I'm good enough, because my rent doesn't care if I'm good enough.
Amen.
My Con Ed bill doesn't care if I'm good enough. I mean, like, I think I've gotten over the anxiety of wondering if I'm pretty or if I'm smart or if I'm talented or if I'm whatever, because it's the only career that I've genuinely wanted to pursue for so long. And so I think the pursual of it and the fact that I love it is enough of a response for me to not have to be like, oh my God, am I blah, 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 blah. And I went to Oxford last year and did a residency there. And I think getting to be at a university was such an indicator of like, okay, actually now I do have this institution kind of stamp of approval on some work I've done. So I'm more insecure about my finances when I haven't booked a TV show. You know, I'm not making $100K per episode. But when that happens...
Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah.
Hey! Drinks are on me for now and forever.
Write that down.
And you can write it down. I'll take everybody out. That'll be the first thing I do is buy the bar around, genuinely.
I've always wanted to do that.
You know what I mean? Like, I really want to be like, drinks are on me, everybody.
Yeah. That'd be sick.
And the second I book my TV show for whatever... I mean, I want to work with HBO because I think they really prioritize writers. If I book when I book my TV show on HBO, I will pay for everybody's drinks.
Deal. Not everybody, just close friends and family.
Or the bar that night.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm
feeling a very small bar, you know, because of net 30 reasons. So it's like, you know,
I'd be like, wait,
just because you booked it doesn't mean you can afford it yet.
Can I pay you in net 60 for this IOU to this bar? Like, imagine if we all walked around
They'll
that
love
way.
That. Yeah.
No, I'm sure they'll kick me out and never have me back again.
I've come to like a creative career very late in life. Like I wasn't really, I mean, like I did creative things in like elementary school and like with the choir and, you know, I shot a lot of disposable cameras and stuff like that I didn't discover until my parents sold their house like in the last few years.
Wait, do you sing?
No, I mean, like in the shower, not anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I have done things like I performed in Carnegie Hall, like in high school and shit. Like, yeah. So I did random things like that. It's not like a I love music, but like my pursuit of it is not, you know, something that I like have any real, you know, desires for.
Yeah.
But like from a photography perspective, like it came to me like super late in life, and the creative pursuit has been like extremely fulfilling, but also like it's coupled with this like the nuances of failure. And something that I struggle with a lot is like, where do I take this career? Like, where do I go with it? How do I, you know, paint a career with me in it and not what like society or Instagram or all these other places are telling me I should be posting?
The fucking Instagram thing is like, oh my God, how does this have anything to do with my work? Anything at all?
It all goes back to like social relevancy, I think. And like something that I've been thinking about a lot is like, you know, over the last like 2 or 3 weeks, I've been posting like a lot of Instagram reels with the idea that if I grow an audience, then it opens potential doors. And I know that that's maybe an unfortunate byproduct of something like social media, but if I can spend 25, 30 minutes making a piece of content that may or may not get seen by someone that could impact my career, I think it's worth it. For a long time, I was very, I've told you this before, I'm like adamant about not doing those kind of things. I didn't get into photography to make videos about me taking pictures.
Right. It seems counterintuitive to what you're actually doing, right?
But,
and explaining your art is even more annoying because you're like, why do I have to do this right now? Just look at the thing.
Yeah.
Why do I have to tell you how I do?
Yeah. So it's like one of those things where it's like, I'm now reframing the context in which I come to my career.
Yeah.
Because I love it so much, so I should put the requisite effort and energy into it. Even though like so much of what I put out doesn't get seen by thousands of people. It's, you know, right? It's my audience, nothing exceptional. That being said, where I was going with that really long around story was that as coming to this later in life, like my goals and my like aspirations are still very huge, right? Because like I'm so shortly into this kind of passion. For you, obviously in a similar position, like how do you go about looking to the future about like what you want to accomplish beyond like, you know, obviously you mentioned HBO and like doing a show and stuff. Like how do you like build out a career? How do you build out your goals of like what you would like to see yourself accomplish?
Oh, that's such a good question. I think I'm super naturally lucky in the sense that I have known exactly what I wanted my career to look like since I was probably 14, genuinely. I think, you know, when I went to high school and I started talking to my choir teachers and competing regionally and whatever, I knew what path I wanted for myself. And now it's been like, with modeling, it completely changed what was available to me. So my goals shift based on the doors that have opened. Because like the door to this college closed, but then the door to this agency opened, and all of a sudden I'm shooting a commercial for Apple. Never thought I was even pretty enough to do something like that, right? So like once I get through a mental hurdle about myself, then I'm like, oh, I could totally perform at the National Theater and play Lady Macbeth in a production of Macbeth. Why couldn't I do something like that? And then it's not about the financial thing. It's like, no, actually, genuinely, I would love to perform at the National Theater and be in a play like Mnemonic and work with Complicité and get to do movement work or moment work and devise a play. To me, that is like not the apotheosis, but like the top, the paramount thing for me to get to do in my career would be theater that is impactful. And I mean, my goals have changed because now I want to work with UNICEF. I would want to be a Goodwill ambassador. I'd want to work with DCF. I'd want to like, there's different things that I want to do that are related to acting and modeling. So those change the more I find out about people and the more I meet people and the more I volunteer with different groups. I'm like, oh no, I actually want to do this in addition to like, yeah, sure. It's a little annoying to be like, I want to be famous, but it's not that I want to be famous. It's that I want to be cemented as an artist so nobody questions me when I walk into a room. Nobody questions Zendaya when she says I want to play this role. My opinion of her acting is actually negligible and unimportant. The fact is that she walks in, she brings an audience, she brings a perspective, and then she can do something like Malcolm and Marie with Sam Levinson and shoot the whole thing because she has the cachet to do that.
I actually love that movie.
I like the idea of it. I don't like it in execution.
In the black and white aspect of it, or in like the what?
No, in the acting. I don't love the acting.
You felt like it was overacted?
I don't think it was grounded. I didn't believe them. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's an interesting thought process.
Yeah. Have you seen Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf?
Yeah.
See, I love that movie, and I believe everything that comes out of their mouths the whole time.
I think so. As a non-actor,
which is, I feel like actually non-actors can tell good or poor acting as well as an actor can.
So here's the thing. I watched a movie this weekend, I Love You Forever.
I haven't seen that.
It's with Jack Nicholson's son.
His kid acts?
Yeah. He's in I think he's in Smile too.
I'm not going to watch Smile.
People. I like horror movies.
Okay, fair.
He's in a bunch of stuff. He's like really coming along as of late. And then this girl actress, I forget her name, but she was on another show that I liked, and she's from Jersey, and so I just like will watch the stuff that she's in.
Yeah.
It was bad. It was like really bad. And I think maybe in watching it, I realized that it was the subject matter that made me real uncomfortable. It was like really like crazy guy who's like, you know, gaslighting, and it was scary, manipulative. Like he was really good and she was really good, and like I just didn't like the context of the movie and like how it ended. It was like very abrupt. Whatever. I didn't love it. It wasn't great. Okay. But what I do is like I come to movies, and because I watch movies like literally every day, I love movies. I think a part of me just suspends belief enough to not get into whether someone is like overacting, underacting kind of thing. Like I think I come into it still as like almost with that childlike wonderment where it's like I can understand that they're playing pretend and to like put that to the side. There are some actors that are very bad at acting, and it's really hard for you to do that.
Yes.
I think that's fewer and far than between. And now I'll have to rewatch Malcolm and Marie. I liked it because I thought it was a nuanced story. I liked the risk.
Premise is good.
Yeah, I liked the risk of shooting it black and white. I thought that was cool. And I'm not like the biggest Sam Levinson fan. Like I find a lot of what he does to be hit or miss.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Have you seen the Coen brothers Macbeth?
No.
It's really cool. They shoot the whole thing in black and white. And Katherine Hunter, she's the Dean of RADA in England. And she plays like 3 different versions of the witches. And so she's one person playing all 3 of them. Like the Fates kind of.
Is it like a comedic version of it? Or
No. I mean, it's the way she does it is so unsettling that it is comedic in some ways, but it is not a comedy. It's with Denzel Washington and Frances McDormand.
Oh, that came out during the pandemic.
Yes.
Yeah. Was that, did Apple do that?
I think so. I think they did. Yeah. The shots in that though, the thing with film is that it's such a visual medium that I think you can get away. It's also the editor's medium. A film is not for actors, actually. It is for the team of people that are creating a narrative. So it is for the editor, it is for the DP, it is for the director, it is for the writer. I don't believe, because there's so much that you can do. It's kind of like reality TV. The way that they edit it is really what's the most important. It's not what's being said, it's how they cut everything together.
I agree. You can shoot a great movie and cut it badly and
editing
lose
is everything.
Yeah,
like I think Anora would have been so much better if they cut the last 40 minutes of the film.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? I think it would have been a great comedy if they just didn't get on the fucking plane.
Oh my god, I mean? So unnecessary.
And if maybe they cut out some of the sex because I thought it was a little gratuitous at points.
It was performative.
Yeah, which it's like, okay, I get that he's learning how to. Okay, cool, I get it now. I don't need to see this 19-year-old get fucked for however long.
I think so. I'm glad she won the Oscar. I think her performance was incredible. I'm glad the movie didn't win Best Picture. Right?
I don't think it deserved it. To be frank with you, I don't think.
No, it didn't.
I hope it didn't because I don't think. I really think that the cutting.
Did it? No, I can't remember.
I don't know. The last like 40 minutes of it.
It was just such a wildly okay movie.
Did Emilia Perez win Best Picture actually?
No.
It won a bunch of stuff though, right?
Yeah, but no, not Best Picture.
Conclave should have won.
Conclave,
I think, was the best movie of the year, hands down. I just thought that it was so that.
I also think Ralph Fiennes got robbed.
But he doesn't do press tours for Oscars.
Yeah.
So that's why he didn't, he didn't do the press thing. But that line where he says, certainty is the great enemy of unity. May God grant us a pope who doubts.
Ooh.
Oh.
Also, not for anything,
so
loved the movie. The last 7 minutes of that movie.
Of Conclave?
Yeah, where
with
priest
him
is
being
a hermaphrodite or whatever.
Yeah. I was like, why do we need him to be...
Talk about performative.
I think
there was the most unnecessary twist to him. Like, wait, what?
I fully agree.
I was like, I would have much rather they have been like trans.
Me too. Me too.
Like, I was like, what are we? What? I was so stunned by that. I was like, they would just serve no. It served no purpose to the story. I think they made 98% of the beautiful film, and then they were like, oh, he's a hermaphrodite. It's like, oh, okay.
But it's because people feel this need to throw in buzzwords and be diverse
and pander.
But like the truth is, if you want to make something diverse, what you do is you show a story about marginalized voices.
Mm-hmm.
I don't throw in a buzzword about a hermaphrodite. I just show you a person who happens to be a hermaphrodite and what their life looks like.
Like Emilia Perez did that.
In a way. It's in a bad way. Fucked up movie.
In a bad way.
I'm not condoning that movie.
It was a terrible movie.
I think that it actually makes fun of trans people and Mexican culture, and it like
through song
in a way that is I mean, I speak Spanish, so I think it was just like, you know,
it was like a kitschy kind of thing.
It was kitschy. The translations were poor. The person who did it was French and was doing, the director was French, and it's the French national pick for the best international movie. And I just didn't understand why we're having a French male perspective about Mexican culture.
Yeah, that's weird.
With a Dominican woman. Zoe Saldana's great, but what is this woman doing in a Mexican story? The lead is also not transphobic, she's Islamophobic.
Yeah.
And all of these tweets came out about her. And I feel like the second somebody has said nasty things about an entire people group and they're trying to make a movie that is allegedly diverse, I think that discredits the name of the film.
And about a marginalized, community.
Right. And it's like, okay, so this is about buzzwords. This is not about somebody experiencing what it is to be trans, you know?
When you like are picking and choosing the things like that you audition for, and
let me be very clear. I am not in the stage of my career where I get to pick and choose.
You just audition for everything?
I audition for everything, and I am taking everything that comes across.
Oh, okay.
I am like a shark right now in my career. I'm like, whatever comes to me, as long as I'm not doing porn and I'm not fully frontal nude, I don't care if the story's bad.
What if it was like a Christopher Nolan fully frontal nude?
I'll do it.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Christopher Nolan, I will do it. But I mean, like,
so it's like not a no. Yeah,
it's not a no. Yeah. Also, vertical short forms, those TikTok like novellas that they do, you could not pay me to do that. So that is where my line
I'm actually kind of really glad you brought this up because
that's not real to me.
There is like that girl who does those like the typical rom-com girl, and then she's like dating BJ Novak now.
Delaney Rowe.
Yeah. So my curiosity with this is like, and I find it all very fascinating from a social media perspective. You can start taking pictures and call yourself a photographer and eventually grow to a point of which you are creating fine art and working with big brands and doing the job, right? I think similarly with music. You can start producing shorts and reels and whatever and like grow an audience and become a rock star. Mm-hmm. Why is it that those kitschy shorts on TikTok, YouTube, whatever, don't garner the kind of outcomes that these other verticals can provide?
Because they're playing in 2D. So people who are making those short form TikToks, I know this because when I go to modeling events and I see models who I've seen on Instagram, their aura exists here. Mm-hmm. It is like 2D, 2 feet in front of you. When you are an actor and you're working, every single part of your body is fucking awake. Mm-hmm. Every single part of you. I had a teacher tell me you have to get the other actor into your spine. Your job, when you see Cate Blanchett work, I get chills thinking about it. Every single movement of that woman is electric to the reality she's in. She's in this movie called Manifesto. It literally made like $200,000. It made no money. It's from a fine art gallery, and they turned it into a movie, and it's about all of these artists' manifestos. And it's poking fun at people thinking they're serious artists. Oh, okay. And it's like Orson Welles is quoted and Arthur Miller and all these people. And it's really good. It's a great movie. But I think TikTok stars and YouTube stars for acting, I believe that you should take training to be a film actor. What if she is like, and I don't know, what if she is like a classically trained... I don't know, actually, so I won't speak on it. But I guess the premise... She's playing to the medium, though, of 2D. That's what I'm saying, is the medium of TikTok is 2D. It is like brain rot. It is... It doesn't require... When you see an O'Neill play, you're tired. After you see some of these plays, you should be fucking exhausted. You should pay $200 to leave completely inundated with a world that is like asking of your psychological energy. Like, I need to pay attention to this to know what's going on. I don't think TikTok ever demands your attention. Attention is the beginning of devotion. Mary Oliver says that. I'm devoted to whatever's happening on stage. I'm going to be devoted to you for 30 seconds, and you're playing to that medium. So I think that's the primary difference.
That's so interesting to me. Yeah, because like I've thought about it a lot, because like these people put like so much thought and effort into what they're doing.
Totally.
And it lacks any sort of reasoning.
Yeah.
I just think like, wow, you must have spent so much time doing this. And like, don't get me wrong, built a tremendous audience.
Sure.
Millions of views and millions of whatever and all, like whatever. But yeah, then I think about it, I'm like, but like, I don't know that it will ever translate into her being a serious actor or any of these people.
I don't think it's ever worked. The only person I've seen transition is Liza Koshy. She's a comedian though. She was in my Barry's workout class one time, and I literally went up to her and I was like, I've been watching your videos since I was in middle school. You're amazing. She's funny, and she also did long form content. She does long YouTube skits that are actually entertaining to me. And if she were to do stand up, she's funny though. I think comics can make the transition because they're doing stand up, because they're making skits, because they're writing their own material. They can collaborate in a different capacity. I don't believe that serious actors can go from, I don't know, I could be wrong. TikTok to... I just don't think that it's real because comedy is based on your singularity. You can do stand-up by yourself and it's funny. You cannot realistically do a dramatic monologue without getting something from the other person. I just find it so boring to watch somebody do a fucking like Hamlet monologue on TikTok. Those never blow up with good reason because who cares? That's not the point of those pieces. The point of those pieces is to expose a part of your heart or your psychological state that the average populace doesn't have access to because you're conditioned in a certain way. Like men are conditioned not to feel their emotions. We're going to have this man. We're going to have this man though who spent a lot of time opening up his vulnerability, tell you why he's considering killing his father, or tell you why he's not in love with this woman, or why he is, or why he's gay, or why he X, Y, and Z. And that's not something that you get when you're working 2D because your soul isn't involved. You're working on trying to satiate some weird tick people have. You're not looking at like filling a room with everything inside of you and telling somebody the contents of your heart, which you don't do with a TikTok.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I do find it quite interesting because, like I said, there are other avenues in which social media can make you a star.
Totally.
And acting is just not one of them.
I don't believe that, and trust if
maybe
I thought
a comedic acting, it can.
Sure. And listen, I can be funny sometimes. I can crack a joke, I can giggle and I can laugh. But I don't think there's any truly, if I genuinely believed that being on TikTok was going to serve me as an actor, I would do it. I would do it. But I don't think that there's any value. Even when you post a self-tape, it's not indicative of what's really happening. It is an interior thing that you send to casting. Nobody goes to the movie theater to watch a bunch of actors do self-tapes. That's not what you do, And so it's like, it's just not the medium. I just don't think that social media is the way that you show people how to act, because acting is about generosity and social media is very me, which works for music. That's fine. It's coming from one person, which works for photography. It's from one person. Acting is totally, the best actors predicate their emotional life upon who the ensemble is and who their scene partner is. I cannot do that on fucking TikTok. It's not going to happen. It's never going to happen.
What about independent shorts, independent films, like zero budget, right? Like I have a camera and I say, here's a script, here's my idea. It's, blah, 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 blah. And we shoot it. What are your feelings on like producing that kind of stuff and like being a part of that stuff? Like, do you think that there's positives to it or negatives? Like, I know obviously it's extremely nuanced, but what are your feelings on that?
I mean, I'm working on a short this weekend. My friend Kevin is doing it, and I was in a short with him last year. And it's so funny because last year when I was in the short, I got paid to literally dance in a club. This time I'm a lead in the short. I'm not getting paid anything. And I trust this director. He's been in Nowness. He's been in South by Southwest. He's been at Tribeca. He's been at Beverly Hills Short. So when I know that there's a cachet attached to somebody's work, it is worth it for me doing it for free. Celebrities shoot magazine covers for free. Even when they're at whatever level in their career. So I think if you're just starting out, you don't have a choice. You need something for your reel and you need to show representation what you can do. But you can get to a point where you say, hey, I can't do this because financially I can't. You don't want to get stuck in that position where you only do work for free because you actually have a job and you're financially supporting a hobby. And so then you're stuck in this weird thing of like, right now, it's always like precarious, right? I'm always figuring out my financial state. And I'm sure that even when I'm making lots and lots of money, I'm still going to have to figure that out. I'm probably going to get a financial advisor. I'm going to have to figure out, planning, whatever, stock options. I think I asked you one time, like, do I make this investment? And you said, if you can't buy it twice, don't do it. I'm like, well, can't buy it twice, so I guess I won't be doing that.
No, I mean, that's just like one of those great lessons that I learned as a kid.
Yeah.
Like, don't buy something that you can't buy twice.
I think that's, my mom always said, don't buy something unless you love it.
Yeah.
Which has like really cut down on my concern. Love it twice. Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I think that you take on stuff. If the story is really good and you feel very passionately about it, sure. But I think you also have to be careful about the abuse, because a lot of people who are doing free work, you got to ask if their parents are giving them money, if their parents are paying their rent, if they get to do art. They are. Mine aren't. Yeah. So like, with love and respect in my heart, please go fuck off, because like, I have bills to pay. You cannot be messing around with me, especially when I spent 2 years in acting conservatory. I like did my residency at Oxford with BADA. I love them. They were so great. I don't get to walk around making stuff for free unless it's really going to serve me as an artist and it's collaborative. And photo shoots are very different, because it's like, what, 2 hours? Sure, I'll do a TFP any day of the week. I think they're super fun. But if I don't think the photographer is good, I charge them now. You know? Good. So because I have representation. Yeah. When I first moved here, I didn't do that because I had to build my book.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
You know,
I struggle with that all the time, like whether to charge people or not. Like, and I've started realizing like the work that I want to create is like moving outside of like just like this, you know, get paid a certain amount of money to do a test shoot kind of thing. And like, that's been my bread and butter for the better part of the last year. But like, I don't want to make that work anymore. Like, I don't want to shoot stuff that is for someone else's book. Like, I need to be inspired by the things that we're creating. And like, it has to be something that I'm excited about shooting, or it's like, why am I doing this? Like, for what? For $400? Like, why? Like, I'm in a blessed position where it's like, I've done well financially, that like, I don't think I should compromise my artistic vision for $400.
Oh, if you don't need the money, don't do it. Yeah. Because listen, Andrew Garfield actually talked about this. He was like, there are some roles where you're just hot, because he was talking about Spider-Man. I don't think he was jazzed about doing Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Whatever. It's a blockbuster film. I'm sure he was much more excited about doing Angels in America on Broadway, getting paid way less, you know? And so
6 1/2. He doesn't do that play without doing.
But that's what I'm saying, right? It's like
you can't take that financial hit unless you have millions in the bank.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And so you don't have to do that, is what I'm saying. So don't take the test sheet. My point is like, unless you financially need, listen, if somebody wants to do a test sheet right now, $400, let's do it. I'll be like, okay, where's the kit? What do you want me to do? Yeah. I'm in that position, but you don't have that. Yeah. So I don't think you should ever compromise your artistry when there isn't a financial tie to it. Yeah. So now you can't. You have the luxury and the gift of only doing things you love.
I've come to it now where like I need, like for a very long time I was creating with zero intent. It was whatever was brought to me I was doing.
Yeah. And like that's practice though too, right?
Is it practice? Yes. It can also be defeating in a way, because it's like, how many times can I shoot the same white t-shirt and jeans, like Calvin Klein 1990s? I mean, like 1,000 times. 1,000 times. That's the answer. 1,000 times.
We should take digitals, by the way, before we head out of here. I forgot I have to do those. So like,
for like, them on my phone, for like 1,000 times, it's like, I don't need to do that anymore. Yeah, I don't want to do that. I want to like be very intent about what I create and why I create it. And granted, I do realize that's coming from a position of safety from a financial perspective, which like I don't always have. Like, you know how like any kind of career, it's like very ebbs and flows, ups and downs, there's highs and lows. But like for wanting to have like the best work that I make is when I have a lot of thought and intent to it. Is it similarly for acting? Like your best roles are ones that you connect with like on a deeper level than just say the paycheck?
Oh, I heard somebody say one time, you want to have one out of the three, or two out of the three, the project, the money, or the people. So you either love the project and have the money, hate the people. Oh. Love the hate the project, have the money, great people. It's like the 2 out of the 3 thing. I also think that like sometimes stuff really sneaks up on you as an actor. To me, what I perceive is really great. As a role, I'll get something and I'll be like, I remember in school all the time I would get a script and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can nail this, got it in the bag. And then I would eat shit in school. I would go do the scene, I didn't know anything. I was like, I know Sally Bowles like the back. Nope, no I didn't. I didn't understand really what the purpose of the piece was, really what the writer meant, really what this version of this play, like sometimes things really catch you by surprise as an actor because we have so many blind spots of who we are as people. And so sometimes I'll get something, and everything that I've been told I am as Kat or as Katherine for however long, I get something and I'm like, wait, I'm actually the complete opposite of what my parents have always told me I am, or maybe what my friends have told me. I didn't realize I had this other pocket inside of me that is like completely opened up by this text, because this writer, I think all plays are psychological exercises by the writer. And so sometimes I just don't understand something about myself, and I get a script and I'm like, I'm playing somebody right now with an IQ of 50. And for whatever reason, I understand it completely. And I would like to think
I want to make a joke, but like I'm not
you can't don't say something. But I thought it was going to be really difficult because I want to be perceived as intelligent, right? I was raised a certain way. I want to come off a certain way. I'm from New England. That's a common thread. Yeah. My dad went to an Ivy League institution. I want to carry that off. But for whatever reason, my stigma attached to that actually completely disappeared when I started working on it versus people who I have. I don't know. It's so weird. Like, I think it's like falling in love with somebody slowly. Sometimes I think I'm going to love somebody the second I meet them, and I'm wrong. And then other times I've...
Preach.
Yeah, and then you're with them for 3 months, and then I open my eyes, and I'm like, oh, I've loved you this entire time. I didn't realize.
Yeah.
I think it can be that way with art.
That makes for a great rom-com.
It does,
Yeah. I think that's really interesting because, like, to me, like, having never acted, right? Like, I mean, school plays, that shit doesn't count. I was like 8, right?
Right.
Having never acted, like, the idea of pretending to be someone that's not myself is, like, extremely foreign, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I know it's like you're playing, it's pretend, right?
Yeah.
But, like, this idea of, like, method acting and, like, all these, like, crazy nuances that go into the craft really, really interests me because... Like, if you're playing a serial killer or a person with an IQ of 50, like, that time spent on set, like, could change you as a person.
Totally.
And I find it very fascinating because, like, like, I had an actor on my podcast once, and I asked her, I was like, when you're in a horror movie and you're shooting this and you're, like, showing fear and, like, this frightened state and whatever, like, what does that do to, like, your systems, like your nervous systems, your like hormonal systems, like being in that fight or flight pretend mode for so long? And I just find it very fascinating.
Yeah. Well, your nervous system doesn't know the difference, right? Like,
so
if you have a nightmare and you wake up in a cold sweat, you don't know the difference. If you see a horror, you like horror, right? Yeah. When you see a horror film, you might be scared shitless. It's not real.
What about like playing pretend love?
I think
could you trick yourself to actually like being in love with a person?
No. Okay. With love and peace in my heart, hell no. Absolutely not. I really like, every time I date an actor. Hate? No, actually, I don't know. I actively am trying not to date actors. I think I always end up in like a situation I need to not be in when I date an actor.
Yeah, situationship.
And not even. It's just like, why are we being dramatic about this? I'll be on a date with them and we'll be like, love and light is inside of your heart. I can tell.
Ew.
You are a good person. Ew. And you... Wow, I'm so attracted to you. Wow. And it's like, why are we doing this right now?
What scene are you
what scene are we both doing? And it always becomes a bit. And every actor I date who's on that kind of timing, unfortunately, I just cannot shake it. You become like slightly British and are just being a little weird for no reason.
Yeah.
I'm the kind of person who, when I act, I do it. I leave
Take
it
home with you.
Yeah, because I don't know. James Baldwin talks about it's easy to despair if you walk down the street, but you could be that monster. You could be that cop. You can be any person that you come into contact with. And I think any character you play is actually you if something just went slightly awry.
Ooh.
So I think it causes the humility inside of yourself to be like, oh, actually, if I was born into a low-income family in like the sticks of Mississippi, what are the chances that I would kill for money? What are the chances that I would rob? Like in I think Les Mis is such a beautiful play or musical because when Jean Valjean steals a loaf of bread and is imprisoned for 10 years, I mean, is he a thief or is he trying to survive? It poses all these questions and it's like, well, if I were in that situation, I don't know if I would or wouldn't have done that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that like I think actors become highly indulgent when they're like, oh, my experience on set was X, Y, and Z. And then I had to, shut up.
Yeah.
Okay, get your shit together. Go see a therapist. It's a job.
Yeah.
I think that veterans have it so much harder than actors. I think police officers even have it so much harder. Firefighters.
Yeah.
You're actually faced with a physical trauma.
Yeah.
The Pit is such a great show when you see all of those emergency room people come in.
I never watched it, yeah.
It's great. It's one day. So the whole season is only one day in the ER, which is brilliant to me.
So I don't know. I'm just not one of those procedural.
It's not really a procedural though. This one's like kind of interesting.
Everyone's
it's not like Grey's Anatomy. It's good.
Oh my God, I've never watched it.
No,
literally.
This is cool because it's literally one day.
Okay, that's interesting.
So it's like you're watching a movie almost. Yeah, but it's like 18 hours.
Maybe I'll
or
give
whatever.
it a shot.
Yeah.
I really do watch almost everything except like procedural doctor shows and
I hate auditioning for those.
And I don't do NYPD or
no.
SVU or any of that stuff. Like I just it doesn't do those shows just like don't do it for me.
They're also super. They promote nationalism in a certain way. Where they're like, look at this lawyer team, look at this NYPD, look at like this extension of America to a certain degree. Because the one thing that you have in America is a good lawsuit, And so...
Guilty, yeah.
Right? But that's like an abuse of the system, right?
Yeah.
And then I think you see a show like Blue Bloods and you're wondering, okay, this really paints cops in a great light. It's not actually questioning...
Was that with, what's his name from...
Tom Selleck.
Oh, Tom Selleck.
And one of the Wahlberg brothers, Danny Wahlberg.
I never watch it. Yeah,
but
I really don't watch anything that's on channel 2, 4, 7, 5.
I think it capitulates to middle America in a certain way and shows, this is. I just think it's a weird patriotism thing.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, which maybe it's not bad, but to me it reads a little like, I don't know if I like this.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So as a person who's just starting out and like doesn't get to pick and choose when they audition for, have you ever received an offer to work on something and then like realize after that like you don't connect with it at all and then like turn it down or?
I don't think... I think I got something once and then backed out of it. But it was something I got myself. It wasn't something that my agent had sent me. I think I've only turned down... I turned down something, but it wasn't a connection thing. It was a modeling thing. And they wanted me to post like lingerie on my Instagram. Doing for a company is fine. I think they wanted to do it like micro-influencer. And I was like, absolutely not.
Oh, micro-influencer.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I've come across, though, an acting thing yet. Thank God, where I've like not connected to it.
That's good.
Yeah.
You've picked 2 careers that are like wildly rejection-oriented.
Yeah.
You get told probably no every week.
All the time.
How do you like handle that from like a confidence perspective?
Honestly, so I grew up genuinely thinking that I was ugly. Like my entire life. I laugh about it now because it's just funny to me. Because my mom is beautiful and everybody always complimented my mom. But I always felt like a fish out of water because I'm biracial and because of my hair and because I have a really big personality and I can't shut the fuck up sometimes. And everybody was like, Katherine, please stop.
Yeah.
And I grew up in a white Christian environment and people like me are not accepted there. It's just a fact. Not in Christianity as a whole, but the white church that I grew up in, I do not fit there. My mom permed my hair. I needed to look more white. That was always the thing. And my mom is Dominican and black and my dad was white. And so I think growing up, already inherently feeling like I was a rejection every place I walked. I'm not even being dramatic. That's how I felt.
Yeah.
I was always too loud. I was always too dramatic. I was always too much. When I'm getting told no, at least by a company that was going to pay me X amount of money, fine, cool. Yeah, I think because I grew up in an environment that genuinely didn't accept me. When I moved to New York, actually the first time I went to Europe, this happened. People were hitting on me and I was so shocked because I was like, oh my God, people think I'm pretty. That threw me for a loop. And then when I moved to New York and I started making money off of my appearance, I already thought I was going to get rejected all the time. So, and I already had been rejected genuinely my entire life to the point where when somebody calls me pretty now, I swear to God, it throws me off balance every time somebody calls me pretty.
Wow.
Every time. And I just don't think I've internalized it yet. And even if I do, I don't think I want to become so arrogant that it becomes like...
I was just saying, I almost think that's like a bordering on a superpower to like...
Yeah.
For humbleness, kind of like...
Yeah.
Yeah. If you've been told so many times that you're not something, then to become that thing, you still maybe inherently don't believe it a little bit.
Yeah.
Which could be like... it could be good and bad. Like,
it could
just
be,
so clear, yeah.
It's like... Okay, so my dad passed away when I was 17. And I remember I hadn't been talking to my dad for the last year of his life because he had a lot of prescription drug abuse and was in rehab several times and whatever. But I remember, like, once my dad passed away, I just thought of all of the additional things I wanted to say to him. Ooh. Because he passed away very suddenly. And so now, whether this is a good thing or a bad thing, I'm not sure. Whenever I date somebody, whenever I have like my best friends, I always let them know exactly how I feel. I always tell them that I love them, even if it's too early,
same.
even if it's too whatever. It's like, no, I've actually lost somebody in my life before. I'm going to let you know. I remember I went on a date with somebody, and then like we went on a second date, and he was basically breaking up with me. Like, which it was just, again, dramatic, like just being dramatic for no reason. But I remember like he was giving me the reasoning as to why, whatever. And I doubled down. I was like, no, actually, I just want to let you know I really like you. And I don't care what you're saying right now. I'm telling you, you can live your life. I'm letting you know just from the bottom of my heart, I so enjoyed my time with you. And I just want the best for you. And I genuinely like you. And I think that that's such a better way to live than me acting like, oh, I didn't really like you. I mean, it's totally fine, that whatever.
What is your current relationship with that person?
Chill, I guess. I mean, I haven't.
Are they in your life?
This happened like 2 months ago.
Oh, okay, so it's recent.
So yeah, it's very recent.
Yeah. I just find that very fascinating.
Like chill, I would say that if I were to see him right now, I would probably give him a hug and be totally fine.
I don't have too many like negative past relationships, like from an ending perspective. So I don't have like a bad relationship with anyone that I previously dated, but like I also have never been dumped to the point and then like had told them like I actually do still love you, like I always will, kind of thing. That's like, because I would have been the person be like, cool, yeah, no, I want this too, like fuck off, like we should break up, you're the worst, I'm the best. Yeah. I would have done that, but I don't have that experience. But I do find it interesting to
I always double down.
I'm always. Listen,
if I feel that way,
as I've gotten older, I've gotten like perpetually softer, like from an emotional perspective and from an empathetic perspective. Because I too, like every time, like I want to be mindful and cognizant of telling people that how much they mean to me and how much I care. Because like I get hit by a bus tomorrow, or like any of these like crazy things can happen, and like I don't. Not that anyone in my life would have any doubt about what they mean to me, because I do vocalize it. And even if I didn't, they would know, but through my actions. I just think it's like such a short, simple, easy thing to do that it gives you that lack of, for lack of a better term, like the clarity on like where we stand.
It's just cool to give a fuck about people. And I think we live in a culture right now that wants you to be nonchalant and siphon off your emotional life. People, like Kafka met Milena, once. I don't even know if they met in person. I think they met through another friend. He wrote her letters for like 3 months, and now we read these really dramatic letters. He never even like consummated his relationship with her, and he was totally in love with this woman. Yeah. Even like Vita Sackville-West and Virginia Woolf, their letters to each other, they were fully in relationships with other people, and it was almost a tryst that they formed through these letters. But we yearn for that attachment, and maybe it's just because I want somebody to say this to me. I just want people to know that like if I'm spending any period of time with you, it means I genuinely like you as a person.
I like that.
You know, and I think I have every right to let you know.
Yeah. Well, I'm the same way. Like I have a very cheesy line: if you've been on my podcast, you're part of my family, and like that's one of the things that I end every podcast with. And it's like, no, but like I agree. I think we do exist in a society now that it's like jaded, and it's like jading more, and like it's like it's, which I honestly I'm not cool then if that's like the definition of cool, I am the least cool person totally that has ever. I don't care. I want you to know. I think it makes me so much freer. We've talked about this earlier, and like as rich as I'll ever be and as poor as I'll ever be in my life, the only real commodity that I have is my time. Yeah. And it's like for me to give my time to another person and for another person to give their time to me, I think there's nothing more important in life. Yeah. And like really it's foundational to how like I want to spend the next, hopefully 40 years of my life or 50 years, whatever I have. Because like at the end of the day, if I'm very mindful and cognizant of like what I'm giving up to be with a person in a time, place, and whatever, I would hope that they would do the same.
Yeah, I think it's worth. I think we don't have a concept of what's considered sacred anymore.
No, we don't.
And I don't think this godless country, I don't mean to be like this, whatever. Have you seen Before Sunrise?
Of course. I watch all 3 of them.
I haven't seen the rest of them.
Oh my God. Why?
Well, I just watched it for the first time.
I would have immediately watched the other two movies immediately.
I think I was like, because I know that, I think Richard Linklater did it, right?
Yeah.
The girl he wrote the story about passed away before the first movie came out. And I was like, the other two are farcical. They are not going to be true.
They're beautiful films.
Okay, I'll watch.
Just as good as the first.
Okay, I'll watch.
Yeah. You obviously have to watch.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll watch them. But there's that line where he says, I think this is holy. Like the thing between two people.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've had some experiences with people, sexual or otherwise, where I genuinely see God in their eyes. Like there is something supernatural about. It's like, what do you see in that person? God, actually, the divine, something.
I need someone to tell me that in my life immediately.
And I tell my friends that all the time. I am literally like my best friend, Emmy. Oh my gosh. Like God literally gifted that man to me.
I fear if someone ever told me that, my ego would never recover. Truly.
And I don't think it should, because I believe that people are divine beings. So why would I not give that to you? You know?
I do start feeling that way as I get older, and like the line on who qualifies and who doesn't, it gets clearer and clearer as I get older.
Yeah, because you get more in touch with yourself, right?
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Like as I become more acutely aware of who I am as a person, the people that I want to spend my life with become very, very crystal clear.
Yeah.
Which I think is a superpower of getting older, because like in my 20s and even my early 30s, like for a long time, like I feel like I was just trying to check boxes and like fill out, there's some like predetermined career path or life path that had like no real attachment to me.
Yeah.
And then as I've gotten older, I realized, I can literally do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah. I feel lucky because I'm 23, and I feel like because I experienced a major cataclysmic life event when I was very young, it's allowed me to kind of have a fuck it, we ball thing where I don't want to waste my time.
Yeah, no.
You know, I don't have any time to waste, I think. Even though life is actually very long. I know people say life is short. I have been young my entire life.
So there's a great Ron Pope lyric in one of his songs that the years move fast, but the days move slow. And I think if you like the way I start looking at it, like July's over already. Like it's crazy, right? Like we're midway through the month, but like I've already got so much stuff on the calendar that it's like over. And then I'm like into August, so the summer's over. It's like, so when you like 3,000 feet out, look at like a year, it's remarkable how quickly it moves.
Yeah.
And I am starting to try to be as present as possible, because like those individual days that may be dragging ass in a weird way give you that like, presence of mind to be like, let's like remember these times. Yeah.
I saw a tweet that said being present is like microdosing eternity.
Ooh, wow.
Sometimes they drop some bangers on Twitter. I was like, damn, that's pretty good.
That is fucking good. Yeah. Oh my God, I'm going to steal that.
Yeah, right? That's some good shit. And I tell myself that like I will be with my best friend. I cannot tell you. My other friend was sleeping over, so the air mattress was still out, and she went out to do something. And so my best friend came over, and we were on that air mattress for maybe 5 hours, just laughing, because he's like 6'5", so he'd sit on the air mattress, and then it would fold over, and then he'd get stuck on the air mattress, and then he'd have to like crawl his way back up. I literally can't tell you what was done in those hours other than sitting on an air mattress with my best friend. And that to me is like, if that is the point of my life, beyond everything else that I want, I genuinely believe it's going to be okay.
Oh, I totally agree.
And that's my eternity, and that's my affinity, right? You can find affinity in an hour. I also think this concept that like from 0 to 1 is a small infinity of numbers, right?
Yeah.
Because there are different levels. It is an infinity,
yeah.
But there's small infinities and larger infinities.
Yes.
Just like how the universe is infinite, but it keeps expanding every day. That freaks me out.
It shouldn't.
When I get anxious, what I do is I watch a picture of the Earth in comparison to Saturn, in comparison to Jupiter, in comparison to the sun.
That would not chill me out.
It chills me out because I'm like, I'm this big. Why am I worried about anything right now? There's literally a black hole next to the sun called Sagittarius A. You know what I mean?
I'm a Sagittarius.
Me too.
So I've for my entire life been extremely fascinated with my own death, and
interesting. Okay.
And to like varying degrees of like healthiness of it, because like I will fixate on it, like when is it going to happen, how is it going to happen, like I don't anymore.
Are you one of those people who's like every day you could be passing the day that you die?
Yeah. So I also think like there's like this idea of like the multiverse. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen this, like where if you ever got into like a car accident or like, or narrowly avoided something, there are other instances in like the multiverse where you actually do die in that instance.
Yeah, this was what I was talking a little bit earlier. If your life went slightly awry, if something like the timing is very important.
I have started believing that every positive, negative, whatever that has happened has led me to a specific point, and like that could be in a relationship, that could be in work, that could be in whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like I stopped questioning the highs and lows and just started like navigating. I found this kind of flow state recently where it's like I'm doing everything I want. I'm achieving everything that I want. And it's because I kind of know that what's meant for me is going to find me.
Yeah.
So I've just sort of hit this like avenue of success and like willingness and openness to allow whatever is to come.
Yeah. I think that's great.
I think it's a cheat code. And I think if anybody listening wants to like improve themselves, is like allow themselves to be open to whatever is going to happen.
Yeah, because actually you don't have any control, though.
Zero.
I think anxiety is this idea, because we live in a culture that's hyper aware of mental health stuff, but I think there's this other side of it where people utilize therapy language to absolve themselves of accountability.
Yeah, being pieces of shit.
Right. Basically, you had to narrow it down. But the whole anxiety thing of like, I don't know, being wrapped up in that, it's because you think you have control over something. And the truth is you don't.
No.
You just don't have control, and you don't know what's going to happen, and you aren't granted tomorrow, barely today. So why stress about something you genuinely don't? You can't. You can be proactive. I don't think you should sit on your ass and not do anything.
Oh, I agree.
But I don't think freaking out about not doing anything and then continuing to not do anything and being anxious is going to be helpful for you.
It won't serve you.
And I don't have a lot of patience for people like that, to be totally frank with you. And a lot of artists are like that.
Yeah.
Where they get wrapped up in their anxiety and their quote unquote whatever. And I'm like, can you make some fucking shit and post it?
Yeah.
At least post it, because then we can see it. I don't think you can claim to be X, Y, and Z and critique other people's work when your work is not out there, because you are so scared about what people are going to say. You aren't anything until eyes are on it. You know, if you're the best artist in the world, but all your canvases exist in your apartment, I'm not the best actor in the world if I act in my garage to the wall. That's not acting. That's it. Art needs to be seen by people in order for it to be experienced.
Oh, I like that.
So the anxiety thing is like, babe, wrap it up. Take a pill. I don't know what you got to do, but go on a run.
Xanax, yeah.
You do a Xanax. I remember when I was in school, I would have to do like, I just found out I just have a lot of energy as a person.
Gee, I'd never noticed that.
Right. Crazy. I thought it was ADHD. Maybe I have a little bit of that.
You definitely do.
Great. You are like the
Diagnosed
700th person.
As a person who spent a lot of his life battling ADHD, a fisherman sees another fisherman from afar, or whatever the expression is, right? Yeah.
I know what you are.
Yeah.
I know what you are.
I know.
You fucking fisherman. Yeah, I probably do. But what helped me was working out.
Oh, for sure.
I'm like, you know what? If I just punch a couple things for an hour and then go to class, I'm chill as hell. If I ran cross country in high school. Running 10 miles, that did the trick.
Yeah.
Like that helps, I think.
Yeah. It's also that like exertion has a calming effect to your nervous system to sort of like zen you out across the board, which is very helpful.
My friends make fun of me, but I walk an insane amount.
Yeah, I think so. As a person who also has anxiety, like I think the two really powerful tools to combat that is like working out and walking. And like I'll just, take a stroll around town and, try to like put my mind in other places, listen to music or whatever, but also like really exerting myself to like take myself away from this mindset of like, oh, everything's going wrong.
No, I literally, I live in Dumbo, and so I have a lot of meetings in Midtown. I rehearse in Midtown, and then I'll have like an agency meeting or an audition or whatever. I have walked from Dumbo all the way to 44th and 7th.
That's insane.
That is a regular activity for me. I've done it a lot. I do it when it's 20 degrees outside. I do it when it's 90. I am in the habit of walking.
That's a crazy move.
Everywhere. I don't know if I need to look into if
You should.
It's possibly like a pathology of mine.
That's wild.
Yeah, I've heard that's like wandering syndrome. I think it's called like Domamine, or there is something for it. But it's helped me process a lot of grief though, because
I find that beautiful.
Yeah, so it's actually been, listen, if that's an addiction, a good one to have.
That is a good one to have.
At least it's not crack.
That it is not. Yeah.
I walked across the Brooklyn Bridge today and took the path from the World Trade Center.
Wow.
Yeah, which was only like a 40-minute walk, but I do walk.
When I'm in the city, I walk a lot. Yeah. The town I live in is not super large,
this is
so
not
it's like you're doing laps.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I find it to be a very cathartic place to find myself if I need an escape.
Walking, and also I think going on a walk with somebody might be one of the most intimate things that you can do with another person.
Ooh. Just like from a date perspective?
I think in general. Yeah. I think like, you know, when you meet somebody for the first time, I don't know, I've been this way since I was a kid, but I could kind of suss out what somebody's deal is within the first 10, 20 seconds of speaking to them. Mm-hmm. I could be wrong about your life, but generally your aura, and if I want to fuck with you, I'm going to, I kind of know, you know? No
cancers.
Right. Actually, I like cancers.
Yeah, I don't. Oh. Go on, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
I'm not kidding.
You're not kidding.
I'm not kidding.
Yeah, no.
I just don't date them.
Fair.
I'll be best friends.
Totally fair. I don't know if I would date a Cancer. That I don't think I would do.
Okay.
I dated a Pisces once, and that was, I liked it because I have so much Pisces in my chart, but it is a lot of emotion, and I'm an emotional person.
But is that like what you're picking up on when you're clocking someone in the first 20 seconds, like that?
If I would date them,
or just like in general, you're like, I have the ability to like.
Oh yeah. Like, do I want to exert energy right now in figuring out what your deal is? Because I know I can like figure out things about somebody, and they feel comfortable with me. But if I go on a walk with somebody, even if I don't feel a draw to them, you don't have to make exact eye contact with somebody. You're doing an activity. If you're walking by,
it's a shared space, yeah.
Yeah, it's like you're in public. I don't know. I love going on a walk. I think my love language is, they're like touch, physical affirmation, going on a long ass fucking walk. Maybe a hike. Maybe there's a body of water. Maybe there's a coffee in hand. I love that shit. Take me on a walk.
I love that. And like knowing that about yourself is like really good. So you can like
would include taking me to a walk in a museum. That would be my perfect date.
I think that's a great date idea.
Right? Like going on a walk, I love it. Grabbing a drink and going on a walk.
I do think like as I've gotten older, I've gotten better on picking up on people's energies. Like,
oh, it's taking you longer, you think?
Yeah. I mean, it could just be like male pattern ignorance. So also probably was selfishness. Like I didn't give a shit.
Oh.
So like I think for like a long time I probably just wasn't really interested in other people's feelings or what like they were putting off. So I just like didn't care.
Even people you dated.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I think now I'm like much more cognizant of like other people's energy and how it impacts me.
Yeah.
I think that's just getting older maybe. Like I don't want to be with someone who's going to like stress me out and like rattle my cage and like scream and yell. It's like, whoa, honey, life is short. We're good. Don't yell at me.
The yelling thing, I don't understand.
I've never yelled in a relationship.
And I'm Latina, and I listen. It's part of the culture. Whatever. I will never be caught yelling at my partner.
Good.
I remember when I was breaking up with somebody, and like, I think he wanted me to be angry at him because it would have been easier if I was angry.
I've gotten that a lot.
I just was sobbing the entire time.
Oh, that would make me so uncomfortable.
I mean, yeah.
That's okay.
I was just crying because I think that, I don't know, I'm definitely more likely to cry. I think the only people I've yelled at, I've only yelled at my family, and for good reason. I think we were yelling at each other for totally justifiable reasons.
Sure.
Family stuff is always weird, but I don't think I've ever met somebody outside of my family structure where I was like, yeah, I'm going to scream at you right now. Hello?
I have tried to, as I've gotten older, make conscious decisions not to get angry with people because everyone is doing this for the first time.
Yeah.
And like, I think if you start giving people a little bit more grace, and me giving myself grace, not to like immediately ratchet. I'm Italian, like I'm fiery.
Listen,
like,
I also have Sicilian in me. I get it. It's a thing.
Yeah. So it's like one of those things where it's like, now that I've gotten to a point where I'm like very self-aware, I think that's been my superpower. Yeah. Katherine, thank you so much for coming on the pod today. This has been such a pleasure. You know, I've already told you you're part of my family, so thank you for coming on. Can't wait to do this again, and you're the best. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, you too. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure.